Donald Goines street-lit style. Detroit, early 70s. The city was loud with the grind of factory machines and the whispers of the streets. In that world of smoke-filled bars and back-alley hustles, one man's name carried weight. Eldorado Red. He wasn't some dime store hustler. He was the king of the numbers game, riding in shiny cars, dripping in respect, and holding down an empire that stretched through the neighborhoods like a shadow. But power always draws enemies in. Sometimes they come from the closest place of all. Blood. Red had a son named Buddy, a kid with fire in his eyes and no patience for waiting his turn. Buddy wanted fast money, wanted to carve his own lane. But instead of coming up under his father, he linked with a crew of stick-up boys. They weren't thinking about tomorrow, only the next hustle. And the target they chose was bold. They started robbing Red spots, snatching from the empire Buddy's father had built. Red got word quick. Nothing moved in Detroit's underground without reaching his ears. At first, he thought it was just some random punks trying their luck. But as the robberies stacked up, he knew this was personal. Red called in his hitters cold men who made a living cleaning up messes in the shadows. "Find out who's cutting into me," he ordered. And they moved through the streets like wolves, shaking down anyone who might have heard a whisper. When the truth came back, it cut deep. His own son, Buddy, was part of the stick-up crew. Red felt it heavy betrayal from the same blood he'd fed and clothed. But even in his anger, he couldn't pull the trigger on his boy. "Don't touch Buddy," he told his killers. "He's mine. The rest of those fools, I don't care. Handle them." The hitters did their work fast. Bodies dropped, streets got quiet. But fate is colder than any man's orders. In the chaos of one hit, Buddy was killed, not by Red's men, but by one of his own partners. Greed and fear twisting the night into something even uglier. When Red heard the news, he broke. Power meant nothing in that moment. All the cars, the cash, the women, none of it mattered. His son was gone, and not even his reach could bring him back. But the killers kept moving, cleaning house until the stick-up crew was finished, wiped from the map. The money flowed back into Red's pockets, but his heart carried a hole that couldn't be filled. Detroit didn't slow down. The numbers game rolled on. The hustlers kept hustling, and Eldorado Red stayed on top. But he was changed harder, colder, and more alone. His empire stood, but family, the one thing that should have been solid, had crumbled in his hands. In the end, that was the truth of the streets Goines wrote about. No matter how high you climb, the game always takes its cut. And Eldorado Red, king of Detroit's underworld, learned the hardest way that sometimes the deepest wounds don't come from enemies, but from your own blood.